Old boy. You should have given me the report. I have not seen the report.
All right, good morning and welcome to Africa's Finest Breakfast Show. It's time for us to be part of your lives and ensure that you indeed have a very great weekend. As you can see, I'm in my full glory, African glory, and let's narrow it down to the Niger Delta style. We've got swag. That's what they say about Niger Deltans. And I can, like they said, there's a very popular lizard in Africa that has an adage, and I know you know so much about that.
No, I don't.
You're looking really African.
Well, I'm African.
Like
the western
Yorubas,
part,
right?
yeah, of course, the western part. Yoruba.
They call you Iya?
Calling me Iya this morning.
In case you're not from Africa, that's what we call beautiful women like that.
Iya actually means mother, like a mommy, yes, so like mama.
That's another name for Iye in Edo.
In Edo, yes, Iye in Edo, but Iya, all of these things. But I'm just trying as much as I can to represent the Yoruba people this beautiful Friday morning. Good morning. How are you all doing today? I am Jumai Manson. If you're wondering, Jumai and the Yoruba, well, we're all one Nigeria. United we stand, right?
Definitely. And I'm Anthony Momode from the Niger Delta. And you see, Niger Delta, we have the crude oil.
Okay.
Like when you talk about OPEC, you remember Niger Delta.
Of course.
That's why we are rich in our colors. And when you know your night was beautiful, and we tend to make your day chilly. Amazing, giving you all the big stories and taste, texture, everything in between.
Business, every other thing, sports, and combined.
All right, but let's begin from interesting things playing out. Though not so too interesting. I don't know if I should start from here.
You should start.
We got this story about, first of all, in 2022, we had the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, the boss there.
Yes,
talking about
Abike,
telling us that as much as 13 Nigerians were killed in 7 years in northern Cyprus, and it was very disturbing. But fast forward to this week, where we got the very sad story about a Nigerian, Afolabi Stephen, who was gunned down by
policemen.
Triggered
happy policemen.
The story, it seems a very controversial story. The story says
he was erratic.
There was a 911 call to the police saying they should be careful even before they came there. So my question is, why try to make the police already biased before they got to the scene of the whole episode? And they got there, they said he was erratic, and but erratic didn't mean he tried to shoot at you.
But he was holding a weapon.
A gun.
He was holding a weapon, and he was erratic. So I think out of fear, the police, when one is erratic, you're not stable. The individual is not stable at that time. So anything at that point can happen. So. Well, anyway, investigations are ongoing, so we cannot conclude till we get the
But I was thinking, if they had to make him subdue him, you wouldn't shoot to kill. Why don't you shoot to, if it's maim him or make him a tranquilizer, make him calm down rather than shoot to kill him?
When I read that report, it said trigger happy policemen. Sometimes some
I
of these.
It was Nigerian who was trying to
trigger happy was trying to overblow the.
Yeah.
But you know what? Even if it's one life, life is important. So at that point, who knows what bias mind these people have?
Because they had told him.
Yes, and of course, this is a different country. Of course, it happened in Canada. It happened in Canada.
Yes.
So, and then that's why it's really, there's just so much surrounding this particular case. We have to, investigations are ongoing, like I said, and it's unfortunate. Who knows what must have happened? And then there was a particular individual that said, when you're relocating to the UK, if you're relocating everywhere, you should get acquainted with that particular environment or that country.
The do's and don'ts.
The do's and the don'ts, because sometimes, as Nigerians, we tend to go into a lot of trouble. I spoke to a friend of mine who's in Greece, and he said a lot how so many Nigerians are in jail as we speak. Nobody even knows about them for 4 years, and they'll tell you they've been here for 4 years, and no one is asking of them, nothing is happening, and it's just unfortunate that sometimes as foreigners we go into other countries.
I can relate with that.
Okay.
Okay. Because when I was in Vietnam in January, and when the contract was technically knocked out, and the next thing I realized, they had written to the immigration to say our business with this man ends XY day, once you see him after this, they do with him whatever you will. When I saw the letter, it was so obvious I was in danger and I had to run back to my country.
Yeah.
But guess what? Even at the airport when I missed the first flight, just a day, you had to pay lots of money for that day that you missed. And guess what? Even when I was trying to pay the fine for staying a day extra, they had to call their embassy, call the Nigerian embassy to confirm. So you could see that they are very detailed. And we're talking about the Asian countries.
That
These
is
people
it.
are very mean and tough,
No,
especially
okay.
to foreigners.
Okay, but the truth is sometimes, now for those people, the Japa class, and that is why you should be well acquainted with where you're heading to. Like you said, know the do's and the don'ts.
Yeah.
Like the friend of mine I spoke with who is in Greece at the moment mentioned and said,
well, see, okay, I was wondering if it was one of Nigeria's former super footballer who...
Oh, okay. Moving on now. And then the individual, he actually said, for as little as no permit, no work stay.
Yeah, you get thrown behind bars.
Immediately, and there's no hesitation about it. And Nigerians are so many there. You see the likes of the Igbos, the Edos, and all of them. They are there.
I was told about a teacher who got jailed because of he didn't leave when he was supposed to exit the country. And the deal is this. If you're put behind bars for 3 years, you're going to serve the 3 years. And when you come out, you're going to pay the fine for those 3 years that you were in the country. They're not going to ask you how you're going to raise the money. You have to get a job. And if you don't get the job, more years for you. So it's really mean that the laws are strict and they go by their laws. So I think it's, you are right when you say you have to know the do's and don'ts.
Exactly. So those on the jackpot table, so you have to be well acquainted with the country which you are heading to. You have to be very careful because sometimes most Nigerians, like the diaspora rep, Abike Dabiri, sometimes there's no win of these kind of forms of injustice that happens to a foreigner. So it's
because the law is already against you.
Exactly, the law is already against you, and of course the country in which you're in has a different law entirely. It's not similar with what we know here. And before we get wind, maybe something must have happened.
Gone wrong.
But I pray they investigate on the matter of Mr. Joseph Kaide and
Afolabi,
and I pray everything gets.
And I think this draws our attention to this Afolabi Stevens case. Makes me wonder: is the need come? This Nigerian in diaspora commission, is it meant to just be reactive rather than proactive? Because most times we hear about Abike Dabiri, Erewa, whenever Nigerians are in trouble. That's
when you hear.
I feel like they have to rejig the mandate of that commission.
They should.
Probably she should.
They should
also step away. She's like there like a life president.
Exactly. Yes.
Does it belong to her family now?
You know. Basically, when I read that report, I actually said the same thing.
She's there like forever.
Yeah, she has been there forever. And that is why, sometimes when you have, will I use the word, when you have people that are new, you get different innovations, different aspects on how to handle particular situations. And I feel, like you said, proactive.
Yeah, because it's not like she has been like in the international relations scene per se. She was a journalist.
Of course.
She got that appointment.
Of course, we know the story.
From there, luck shone on her. And the president, then President, I think, Obasanjo. So once the commission was formed, naturally, she just slid into it, and she has refused to give up that power.
I think NADCOM, they have a lot of work to do, a lot of work. It's not when Nigerians in diaspora are in trouble, or there is a death situation, or there is something drug-related cases. It should be checking on our citizens who are abroad. That's why that commission was formed, and it
also shows our embassies probably they're dormant.
Okay, yes, I could say that, because there is a lot of work to do. Then it's only when there are cases like this that you come up, and sometimes nothing or little is actually done when you hear cases like this. Really, I'm not, some of these, there are some Nigerians that were actually executed for drug-related stories in one of these countries, and you see what happened. We didn't get justice. We didn't hear about that case anymore. So I think there needs to be a change of
guard.
Yes, a change of guard, a change of administration when it comes to exactly. For me, that's my own personal opinion. I feel she has been there forever, and I've not really seen any
Extraordinary.
Extraordinary. Yes, I've not really seen anything. I think she needs, I don't know.
All right, Abike Dabiri, yes, you're one of us, but we think NIDCAM needs a change of weather also. Maybe
yes, new innovations.
Just like the change you see here, you've got the purple and you've got the golden color, so change like that. All right, all right. Some other big stories making the rounds. The man who is in the eye of the storm, so to state, talking about Audu Umar Audu, the investigative journalist who has caused a lot of stir now as regards this forger certificate.
When it comes to Benin Republic and Togo and all of that. But I looked at that story and I said, oh my goodness, it's not all Nigerians that fall under this category, Anthony.
My question is...
there's some that followed the books. There's some who actually went to school and graduated and did the needful. Why is this happening to those classes of people? Like, really, we should fish out those who are part and parcel of this criminality, not the innocent ones. What's going on? What's going on?
I think that's where this interesting story comes out, talking about Ugochukwu Favour, who is the NANS president in Benin Republic. He has come out to say the federal government shouldn't just give a blanket ban on
to everyone.
Because according to him, 15,000 Nigerian students in Benin Republic have been affected with that ban.
Yes.
But the question is, we have as much as 15,000 Nigerians in Benin Republic going to study. Is it because of that benefit? And for the journalist, he also breached the law because he went for the second time going for NYSC.
Exactly.
So also indicts the NYSC that their system is very flawed.
Exactly. Truly, the system is very flawed. But at the long run, you could see that they were able to detect some, there was like an eyebrow there for us to get all these information in which we got. But unfortunately, it's just a very sad. It's just a very sad story. Like, I really feel bad for these Nigerians that are actually on the right path, and it's going to affect them in so many ways. And it just shows how the educational sector in Nigeria needs to step up. Because if we were really hands on guard, we're serious. We're on going out of the country to go and pursue academic success. It's really sad to see that our government has a lot of work to do when it comes to education. It's not all about coming out and saying lecturers need to be paid. The students in proper, it's really a sad. It's a sad event, and it's really on Nigeria. On Nigeria, this is a very disgraceful, and we should be ashamed because our educational sector, it's not. Is it working, Anthony? You hear strikes here and there. If we were so good, if we were hands on deck when it comes to education, the future of our children, if it was important to our leaders, those in the elites who see it as important, do you think 15,000 Nigerians will leave the shores of Nigeria to go to a nearby country, a neighboring country, to school, and some of them because they feel
exchange there.
And exactly, and the worst part of it all, it shows that when you travel outside the shores of this country, the educational value is higher than what we have here. Because someone who went to Benin Republic, are you kidding me? Benin Republic, when you get to Cotonou, you can just find your way, and then the next thing you know, you come here and your qualification is higher than someone like me that went to University of Maiduguri, or someone like you that went to Delta State University.
No, University of Jos.
Okay, University of Jos. What? Okay, we're still in Nigeria. But the thing is, but theirs actually supersedes ours because
which is very poor, which is very,
in fact,
very bad.
This particular is an eye-opener for the educational sector to sit up and know that this is just a very sad experience to see how laxity we are when it comes to education and academics in general.
And the NYSC is also in the eye of the storm because it shows that their system is so porous. The interesting thing is, he was asked, I thought we used the NIM in all this. He said, yes, they use it, but he doesn't know how they he boycotted the NIM.
Exactly. So he had to change his email. He changed his email, he changed address.
It still shows it's not what airtight, because if it was airtight, those two things shouldn't be enough for them. So the question is it like you don't have a list or data? He said yes, they don't have a database of Nigerians who have graduated.
Wow.
That is very, very sad and
So
embarrassing.
now we have two sectors that have to really put their hands on deck. The NYSC one, you
Not
have
having a database
not having a
of
data of
Nigerians that have graduated.
That's why someone can just go to a nearby printing and just print NYSC and this year, and then you see it's unfortunate.
Very
really,
sad,
it's
very
really
sad.
And look at the amount he spent. Over
600,000 naira.
Yeah,
So,
650,000 naira.
So you can tell why we have many people bearing Dr. this, Professor this, and you wonder how quick they became doctors and professors. So because if a journalist could spare 600,000 and he got that, then you can imagine what the elite have done to get whatever degrees they needed. But I think he still has to face, I don't know if he's going to face the law, because he would say he was doing it
on behalf of individuals. Although
for me, it's a very technical issue.
It's very technical because really he was doing it. It's not like he wants the certificate to use it for anything. It's just to actually make a point, because this sort of thing, this act has been going on. Yes, exactly. But really, government really needs to look at it and look at who is culpable of this particular act. Those that have gone in 2 weeks and next or 2 months you have a certificate, and those who have really gone through the books. I think they should differentiate so there could be a balance.
All right, I thought our producer was going to flash the picture of the man who is in the eye of the storm, the NYSC. Yes, that's the man there.
That's the man there.
That's the man who pulled these stones.
Hi.
Okay, his name is Umar Audu. So I think he's from Kogi State. So I think Audu, you're in with a shout. Some will say, job well done. Some will say,
don't let me get you out there.
Because you put 15,000 and just
in fact, in jeopardy. Are you kidding me right now? But
that's the big
it's all for good, and it's all for good, basically, Anthony.
I think it's more good than
bad. Yeah, truly.
So Audu gets our thumbs up.
Kudos.
All right, so we've got another interesting talking point. Someone has upstaged Dangote as the richest man in Africa, and he's from South Africa. I don't know, South Africans are always on our case.
Yes, they are.
Trying to rival us in everything. All right, hopefully we'll get the pictures of the two main men talking about Africa's richest man. South African business mogul in the person of Johan Roper has retained Africa's richest man for the year 2024 after displacing Nigerian billionaire Aliko Dangote. This was revealed by Forbes. Yeah, those are the two richest men.
Exactly.
Okay, one is more richer now. This was revealed by Forbes Real-Time Billionaires, a ranking platform that tracks day-to-day alterations to the net worth of the most high net worth individuals in the world. Forbes disclosed that Dangote, the founder of Dangote Group conglomerate, moved down to second place after his wealth fell from $13.5 billion in 2023 to $9.7 billion as of Thursday, January 4th, 2024. That's just yesterday, indicating a $3.8 billion loss. In the same vein, Rupert's net worth decreased from $10.7 billion in 2023 to $10 billion in the same period in 2024. So this is, I would like to be like,
like who?
Half of them is all good, and I'll be doing the money show from my bedroom.
but truly, it shows something here. It shows
how quickly.
Yes, how quickly one can actually write. Yes,
$8 billion lesser.
Yes,
you're no longer the Africa's richest man.
Really, yes, and it shows that people so many billionaires out there are watching. There's a competition. It's a market. People want to strive to be number one business mogul, but well, fortunately for he's still very rich. And like you said, half of them is fine. but the thing is, well, congratulations to the South African billionaire. Congratulations. It shows Dangote is an icon that everyone wants to follow and to get to the top. So it's a win-win situation. So it's a win-win.
All right, still talking about money matters. EFCC is in the news. We were talking about Dangote, who fell. No wonder he fell to the second richest man, because the EFCC raided his office in Lagos. That's the big story, that his office in Lagos was raided because there seemed to be an allegation investigation. That's the story says you've got the story operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on Thursday, raided the headquarters of Dangote Group in connection with the ongoing investigation into forex allocations in the country. Sources told us that on arrival at the headquarters of one of Africa's largest conglomerates in Lagos, the EFCC operatives demanded documents relating to allocation of foreign exchange to the group in the last 10 years, and they scrutinized the document provided by the officials of the group and cutting away some. EFCC had written to 52 companies directing them to supply documents supporting the allocation of and utilization of foreign currencies to them in the last 10 years. And the story says EFCC later to the companies ongoing as part of investigation into alleged preferential forex allocation to individuals and organizations by Godwin Emefiele Central Bank of Nigeria. So it's a very big case and very worrisome.
It's a very big case and worrisome. But it just shows in the long run no one is above the law. So it's not something that you can just wink and there's going to be procedures, there's going to be process, and well, it just shows that EFCC, kudos. Well, no one is above the law.
Is getting the job done. For now.
Yes, he is getting the job done for now. So it just shows, for me, no one is above the law. It's
very sad because now what he means, the Godwin Emefiele has done so much wrong to us. Now what he did was technically empowering the rich to get richer, and for the upcoming companies, the middle class, companies, he's not giving them a chance to succeed because
to survive.
Yeah, to survive. Because if you're already giving these people that advantage,
so much,
and they're already rich,
like really,
companies will definitely keep folding up.
A lot of companies, and of course, he affected a lot of companies when that
Forex,
cash. Yes, it did affect a lot. I know a lot of companies, a lot of small scale, medium enterprises that couldn't continue. They couldn't survive. They couldn't get forex, and it's really sad to see why the rich will always want to be rich and empower the rich, and not looking at the middle class or those that are, I wouldn't say poor, but trying to survive. Unfortunately, so
very sad story. But it's not all gloom. We hope good things will also come our way in the year 2024, as the president has assured us, and also we are hoping other good things. If nothing else, we know that in the next today is how many days to the African Cup of Nations?
Please don't ask me, Anthony.
Yeah, today is the 5th of January.
Yes, it is.
And it's starting on the 13th.
It's starting on the 13th. So we have about
I love this.
7 more days.
Okay, I'm trying to crack my brain. Okay, good.
I'm not like you, Anthony. I just want to help you, your ministry by saying you're bad at math. But seriously, of course, I know we're just trying to. I know what we're trying to do. But seriously, 7
days to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nigeria, 7 days to the African Cup of Nations. Good news. I almost was trying to calculate 7 plus. All right, so just some pictures before we go for the AM news. Some pictures of African Cup of Nations when it started, but we're starting from 96. We know it started in 1957. I wasn't born then, so I can't give you that picture. But we're starting from 96. Those were the first pictures in 1996 when South Africa, after apartheid, immediately hosted it, and that's Nelson Mandela winning that. That's the shape of the Nations Cup. It was very funny then, funny looking shape.
Yes, it was.
That was the shape in 96. Then we know that we also had it in 2 years after 96, that's 1998, Burkina Faso hosted it, and that's Cameroon were the winners that year. And in 2000, it came to your beloved country. Nigeria hosted it in the year 2000. Nigeria and Ghana hosted it in the year 2000. Oh, wow. And we lost. That's Terrible West. Terrible
West, who's a pastor now.
So who's a pastor now. Oh, wow. He's so sad. That's Annalisa behind him.
Yes, that's Annalisa behind him.
We lost it to Cameroon. Then in 2002, Mali hosted it again. And that's
oh wow!
Right, I guess who this man is. This is Samuel Eto'o, and now he's the Football Federation president.
Wow!
This is pictures telling the story in 2002. That's him thanking God after they won it in Mali. In 2004, it was Tunisia. Yeah, that was in Tunisia in 2004, and Tunisia won it. that was where Daniel Omokachi, the Nigerian footballer, got married, got his wife.
Oh wow! Okay.
After the Nations Cup,
Okay.
he didn't want to leave Tunisia empty-handed because we lost the cup.
And
he
he
had to
went with
get
a-
married to this young woman.
Oh, wow.
So that's a bit of history for us. Then in 2006, which is the last we're going to stop for today, it was in the Pharaoh's country, talking about Egypt.
Okay.
And Egypt did win it that year in 1996, the Pharaohs of Egypt. And
Wow.
I think just a little bit of history for you as regards 5 days from now, you said, so that inspired that.
Not 5 days from now.
What did you say?
Okay, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
5 days? Still
Yes,
a couple of nations.
yes,
It's on the
yes.
13th.
It's on the 13th, not 5 days from now. Like
Is what? How?
almost 8 days from now.
Okay, like
7 days.
7 days. Okay. All right, it's time for us. Where are you taking us?
Okay, of course, taste and texture. But before taste and texture, we have AM news that comes up at 7:30, and then of course we have taste and texture, talking about recipes when it comes to food. Of course, Anthony loves food, and
Yeah,
Right.
egusi soup.
no, not egusi soup today. It's not everyone that likes egusi soup. Seriously, it's not everyone. Like seriously, but of course, taste and texture. So get your pen and paper and learn a new recipe today. But let's quickly go on a break because at about 7:30, AM news comes up next. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global TV, live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. Now the news in full. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu has assured to utilize all available resources to ensure lasting peace and security in the southeast geopolitical zone of the country. President Tinubu gave the assurance in Binde, geopolitical zone of the country. President Tinubu gave the assurance in Binde, the headquarters of local government area of Abia State, while unveiling the logo of the Peace in the Southeast project, a strategic platform for the restoration of peace in the Southeast region, envisioned by the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu. The unveiling was part of the activities to mark the civil reception, Thanksgiving and homecoming by the Deputy Speaker. Addressing Nigerians from all walks of life who graced the occasion, President Tinubu, represented by the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima,